Recording in progress.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to session 27 of Talking Asperger's with Andrew. And today we're going to be talking about two of the other key skills that people with Asperger's have, and that is creativity and visual skills. People who have Asperger's syndrome have a brain that is wired in a different way to neurotypical people, and they can be very creative. This enables them to be very good in for certain types of business where they're looking for innovation and new ideas because they ask the what if questions. What if we looked at this in a different way? We looked somehow differently. How can we come up with something new, something different that can be an improvement or a new product or a new service? So they're always thinking and always asking the creative questions. What can we do to make something better or to improve on something? I used to be a geologist in the construction industry, and one of the ways that I used to love summarizing information in tables and bullet points and things like that, and also using drawings, and the use of drawings and color is one of the visual skills that people with Asperger's have, and it's very interesting because they can see things in 3 dimensions. They can see patterns in images and patterns in numbers, and they can get a much bigger appreciation of what's going on if they can see something visually. They have visual recall, very good recall of information, and I can still remember um, intimate details of jobs I worked on 30 years ago when I was a geologist. So if you were to put a report in front of me, I would have a pretty good idea of what was going to be in it that I'd worked on, because we have this ability to recall the visual information that we see. So these are two of the things that people with Asperger's are very good at, and it helps them out in a number of ways, which is good for business. They ask the what if questions. They say, how can we do something differently? What can we do? I used to, as a geologist, used to summarize information on drawings. Most uh, information was on drawings, and I would regularly, for progress meetings, I would get a copy of the drawings and color it up, mark it up. This is what we've done this week. These are the problem areas. Have some summary notes and a summary table, or one-page summary of what was going on, and I could recall information that we'd worked on previously from previous weeks in the job, or what happened last month or the month before, so that I could get the context of what I was presenting it clearly and precisely, so that others could understand what was going on. And so that ability to recall information visually and to see information visually was very handy for me as a geologist. Although at the time I didn't know I had Asperger's, but I always knew I was different. I always didn't kind of fit in particularly well with some of my colleagues. But my Asperger's helped me out because I could summarize information. I could summarize where we were going, and be able to recall, as I said before, what happened last month or the month before, so that we could put together a plan. We'd have a series of statements on what had happened, and we could make good decisions and informed decisions on the basis of what we were looking for. So those are some of the things that people with Asperger's have. Let me just have a quick look down here. Yeah, they have we have a distinctive imagination, and we have a flair for innovation, and these can lead to great new inventions and new ideas. Um, if you think about some people who had Asperger's syndrome or suspected to have Asperger's, Leonardo da Vinci was a fabulous artist, but he was a scientist. He studied anatomy. He was one of the first people to actually look at the structure of the human body and the muscles and the tendons, and he dissected over 20 people, dead people, obviously, to look at the structure of musculature so that he could then use that in his painting. So he studied the way the muscles worked and what happens when certain muscles moved, what other impact it had, so that he could then accurately and precisely paint what he wanted to paint in his paintings. But he was also someone who was very into hydraulics and water engineering, um, defense engineering, and war type engineering. He was interested in flight. He studied the flapping patterns of birds, and noticed that some birds flapped on the downbeat twice as fast as they flapped on the upbeat. Now, bearing in mind he didn't have any cameras, back in the early 16th century, he would study birds so carefully to be able to see that. I think it's quite amazing how he did that, and he had the ability to understand what was going on, what he was looking at, what he was seeing. And and that helped him out with some of his inventions and how he painted people and images and backgrounds in some of his works. So it's quite fascinating how he put all his different aspects of his creativity, his creative genius, to work so that he could paint better. And if he'd been able to publish some of his notebooks, he wrote an awful lot of notebooks on a number of topics. And had he actually published his notebooks, he would have been labeled a far bigger genius than we already believe him to be from his paintings. But I've just finished a biography of Leonardo da Vinci. It's quite fascinating, the depth that he would pursue something for the sake of knowing and for the sake of finding out, so that he could know and satisfy a curiosity, but then how could he use that in his painting? How could he express that in the muscle toning of someone's arms or someone's legs, or how they're smiling, what the shape of their lips and the muscles in around the mouth are? All of these things are things that he studied in minute detail at length for a very long time. And that's part of the abilities that people with Asperger's have. We have this curiosity to want to find out more. And in finding out more, can we use that in some way? Can we use that in business? Can we come up with something new? Can we improve on the process that we have and produce new products? And if you think of Steve Jobs, he was believed to have Asperger's syndrome. And I would love to have been a fly on the wall when he thought about the handheld device, the little very basic phone that you could send a text message with, make a phone call, and sometimes send an image. And then he said, well, let's put the power of the computer, because in about 2007, when the iPhone came out, we had computers, we had laptops, so we've been able to scale down a computer into a small components. So he put the two together. He put the power of the computer into a handheld device. And I would love to have been a fly on the wall at that meeting when he said, we can do it. And then when he presented it, this is what we've got, the iPhone. And I think that's just absolutely fabulous, because he asked the what if questions. What if I put the power of a handheld device with a phone? What can we achieve? And at a moment in time, he changed how we communicate with each other across the world. And I think it's that kind of innovative approach, that kind of free thinking, that asking the what if questions, that challenging the norms that we have to come up with new ideas, new ways of doing something, that are some of the skills that people who have Asperger's have. And these are great skills and great assets to employers, but not enough employers know about it. And that's they tend to, if they do know about Asperger's, they possibly think about some of the social challenges that we have. And yes, we do. I have social challenges, being around people and being in groups, and I'm getting better at it. I get better at it as I go through life. But yes, we have challenges, and some of those things can be difficult for us. But there's a plus side to it. There's a very big plus side in that they have the ability to come up with something new and develop something new, and they're very good at solving complex problems, because they can see things three-dimensionally, see things visually as to how something is set out. And by being able to see it in that context, they can see if they can find where the challenging point is. What's the key point here that we need to address, and how can we do that? And that's a great challenge that they step up to, and can provide enormous assets and benefits to businesses by helping them move forward for the next 10 years and the next 20 years with new products, new processes, new ideas, new ways of thinking, and ways of problem solving. And if businesses need anything at the moment, they need problem solvers, they need free thinkers, they need people who are going to challenge what we're currently doing. Is that the best we can be? Can we be better? Can we do something better? And that's where I'm very passionate about helping employers understand that people with Asperger's have great skills, great technical abilities, very analytical, all of those things that we've talked about before in some of the sessions. So I'm going to ask the question to Barbara on the call, and I've just noticed she's made some chats there of what she comes up with, what sort of ideas that she comes up with that she can put to her Asperger's or has an experience of. Is there something you want to share with us, Barbara?
Hi, Andrew. Well, actually, I feel very much in everything you say, every point. And as I explained, I had, well, I think, I believe, because I've been studying a lot about Asperger, about high potential, about well, all those things since a very young age, because I felt like you that I was not fitting in the world since the beginning. It was like, what am I doing here? And I believe that we have this multiple intelligence. We are capable of doing many things, different things in a very professional way. And this is something that, let's say, let's say normal, I don't want to use this name, but the rest of the people, they do not understand
Yeah.
that there are people that they are capable of doing many things in a professional and perfect way, that they are polymaths. I love this word. We are polymaths,
Hmm.
as I speak several languages, etc., etc. And generally, instead of appreciating those skills, they have this tendency of thinking that we are completely lost in doing too many things, and not one we are capable of doing in a good way, which is wrong, actually. So if I have to talk about myself, I've been a musician, a professional musician at the beginning of my life. I've been playing professionally in an orchestra. I've been working at the opera, etc., etc. Then for many reasons that I'm not gonna explain because it would take too long. I just decided to cut with this world, which was like cutting my leg or my arm because it was a part of myself. And for 20 years, I completely switched to another universe, which actually was aviation. I became a flight attendant and instructor, a security and safety instructor, chief cabin instructor, and I worked for more than a decade as a VIP corporate flight attendant. And finally, since 4 years, I was fighting to start a new orientation, and I am very happy to share it with you today because I received today a letter telling me that I've been accepted to start a course of 6 months on cybersecurity. And
Fantastic.
this is, yeah, and
That's
this
really
is
good, Barbara.
something, oh, I'm so happy. And this is just to say that, yeah, and this is another part of my life, and I really feel that I can do it, and I'm passionate about this. I already start reading books because I will start in 1 month. So this is what I would like to say, that people have to learn to understand and accept that people can be different
Yes.
and competent
Yes,
doing
I
several
think
things.
I think you're absolutely right there, and it's about, it's not just about raising awareness and acceptance, but it's it's inviting employers to say, you know, try it, try someone out, employ someone who has Asperger's, support them and put them in the right environment, and you will be amazed at what they can come up with. I was reading, I did a talk last week to an accountancy training company, and in researching my talk, I found that there was an article that said that properly supported in the workplace, someone with Asperger's syndrome can be up to 140% more efficient than their typical colleagues. That's hugely important, that because they have focus, they can absolutely focus on the one thing they're doing, and they're not going to be distracted by what's going on social media. They're not going to be interested in the idle chit chat about what happened on the television last night, or the football, or EastEnders, or the soap opera. They're at work. Their focus is on their work, and they will absolutely nail down and do that. And so all these other distractions and the minor little chitty chatty things that people do, they just don't interest them. They don't interest, certainly don't interest me. I would rather be given a piece of work, get on, do it well, do it competently, report back, do the next thing. So it's trying to get that across to employers, that they're a valuable asset, and they're competent. And you use the word polymath, so I use the word versatile as well. We're incredibly versatile in in the skills that we have and what we can do. And I think the more businesses understand, the better the opportunities will be for people who are neurodiverse, not just with Asperger's, but autism, other forms as ADHD, OCD. People who are neurodiverse have amazing talents and abilities, and I think it's just something we have to just keep plugging away at, keep informing people, keep talking to people, keep sharing our knowledge and our information with people and employers, so that they realize that actually there's a great talented pool of employees out there who really want to work and really want to contribute, and they just need the opportunity, they just need the chance. And the statistics for employment of people on the spectrum is appalling in the UK. It depends on which statistics you read, but I've heard figures of about 16% of people with Asperger's or autism have full-time jobs, and about another 16% have some kind of part-time work or voluntary work. That's only 32%. The average for the disabled community as a whole in the UK is 48% employment. So we're a third behind the average, and that average is an appallingly low figure anyway. So we need to keep working at it. We need to keep informing people. We need to keep sharing our ideas and our message, so that employers realize that there's a great talent pool out there of underutilized employees with skills that can be great for your business. They might need some support in how they work, but employers have an obligation to do that under the Equality Act of 2010. So there really shouldn't be an excuse for not employing people from all sorts of walks of life, all diversities, all cultures, creeds, religions, gender, sexual identity, neurodiverse, neurotypical. There's loads of people out there who are eager to work, want to contribute, and they have great skills. And it's getting that message across so that employers understand that and can see the benefit and the value. If they can see the benefit and the value, they will jump on board, but they're not seeing the benefit and value at the moment. So that's where we need to keep working away, doing what I'm doing, these webinars that I do, sharing them on my YouTube channel, and just trying to inform people as best I can with my LinkedIn posts as well that I do on a weekly basis. So all of these things are part of the bigger picture of trying to help employers understand that there's a great gene pool out there, there's a great skill base out there. Try and use them. Use them well, and you will be amazed at what they can come up with. They just may be the catalyst that you need in your business to take your business forward for the next 10 years, the next 20 years, with a new product, new process, new idea, new way of doing something. They may come up with to solving a long-standing problem you've had for 20 years. They might be able to look at that and think, I can fix that, because if we look at it in this way, we can solve the problem. Wouldn't that be brilliant as an employer, if you've got a long-standing problem that you don't know how to fix, that someone can come in with a fresh pair of eyes, with new thinking, they can ask the key questions. And that's important, is to allow them to ask the key questions. And I used to ask, when I was a geologist in meetings, I would ask the stupid questions, not because I wanted to make myself look stupid, but because I had a different approach to what we were doing. I had a different perception of what was going on. And I would be sitting in meetings thinking, why is no one asking this question? So I'd think about it and think, no, it's no good. I've got to ask this question. And the number of times people have looked at me and gone, where did that come from? And I said, yeah, but it's interesting. If we can solve this, if we can answer this question, we can move ourselves forward. We can solve this problem. We can move ourselves on. And a number of times I've been spoken to by my bosses after the meetings, and they've said, where did you get that question from? I said, well, it was obvious to me. And if it was obvious to me, I feel as though I have to share it. We developed, we moved on forward, we solved a problem. So that's what we need to be able to do, is not to be fearful of someone who's coming in asking challenging questions. And that's really important, that we allow people to express their individuality, express their ideas, to challenge the norms that we have. Because one of my favorite phrases when I talk to employers is, if we always employ the same type of person doing the same type of job, it follows that you're going to get the same type of result. If you want to have new, innovative ideas, great new products, new processes, you need someone who thinks differently. And people who are neurodivergent are exactly those people. And those are the people you should be attracting, just like companies like SAP and Auticon, who go out of their way to employ people with Asperger's and autism because they are so good at what they do from an IT perspective. They're IT consultancy based companies, and they go out of their way, and their recruitment programs are based on skills testing rather than a resume, fill out standard questions that basically duplicates what's on your CV or your resume anyway. They actually have targeted how they do their employment process with skills testing so that they can identify the people that have a fit with them for the challenges that their clients have in the IT field. And it's brilliant. They find the right people because they're looking for them in the right way. If someone was trying to find me in the myriad of people as a geologist, they would find it hard to pick me out because I would just be another one of a number of people. So they wouldn't know that I had Asperger's. They wouldn't know that I can look at things in a different way and that I can challenge the norms. I can ask those questions. Why are we doing this? What if we did it like that? And those are the things that people with Asperger's and autism can bring to the business. And I think it's so important that we keep trying to get our message across, and helping people and helping employers understand that there's great talent out there, and they just need to be brave. They just need to say, yeah, let's try someone like this. We've tried neurotypical people, and we haven't got anywhere further forward, or we may have. Let's try someone who's neurodivergent and see if they can help us drive our business forward for the next 10 years, the next 20 years. Maybe they could be the next Steve Jobs, or they could be a Leonardo da Vinci working for us in our business. How good would that be? How good would that be if you had someone with that level of skill, ability, vision, innovative ideas? How good would that be to develop that for the benefit of your business? I think it would be fantastic. I can't see a downside. I really can't see a downside. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I don't know whether, Barbara, you wanted to add anything else to today's topic?
Everything is perfect. Actually, we could talk for hours, I
Yes,
think.
yes, we
And
could. Yes, we could. Yes.
but I'm really sharing your videos. I'm sharing your meetings, and I'm really happy to know you. Now it's like a few times that we can speak together, and I think it's very important what you're doing, and it's useful. And we are all fighting to make people understand all these things, actually. And yeah, it's time to make a change in their minds right
Yeah.
now. So thank you very much for what you're doing. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you. If we don't have anything else, then I think that's us for today. If you are an employer and you're watching this on replay or from my YouTube channel, and you want to find out more about how I can help you manage your Asperger's superheroes, how you can get the best from them, what you need to do with regard to compliance with the Equality Act of 2010, which is about employing people across the whole spectrum of all walks of life, cultures, races, creeds, colors, gender identity, neurodiverse, neurotypical. If you want to know more about how you need to comply with that and what you need to do, please get in touch. You can get in touch with me on my website, which is on the background there, which is andrewmarsh.com. And I would love to have a conversation with you. So thank you for joining me today, Barbara. It's been a pleasure having you on the call, and I shall see you next week. I will be posting on Friday afternoon what next week's topic will be. But until then, thank you very much, and I'll see you again. Take care.
Thank you, Andrew. Bye.
Bye-bye.